everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'd like to talk about Reiki for astrological remedies today. While Western astrology is primarily predictive, Vedic Astrology from India offers solutions as well to planetary afflictions. I have often been asked if Reiki can help us overcome these obstacles and how, if it is possible. In my experience, Reiki can help tremendously curb the afflictions of our planets when practiced correctly. I encourage you to go beyond the consumer mindset, beyond the desire and control mindset, and beyond the temptation to use Reiki and the planets to get what you want. If this is your attitude, no solution will work beyond the short term, and you can practice for decades with no results. The first step is to understand that we are born with a certain planetary configuration by choice. It is not past karma punishing us, but us at a soul level choosing these challenges in order to grow in compassion, acceptance, and maturity. So to begin with, we need to stop looking at planetary afflictions as something to be fixed and more as a lesson to be learned. Secondly, your horoscope is not a permanent, fixed thing, but a directive. It is merely an indication of your starting line. For example, if you are planning on growing a garden, maybe your horoscope says that the east portion is dry and there is waterlogging in the south. Some limitations can be worked upon and resolved. Others cannot be transcended. Like in this example, if you have a garden in India, there is no way you can grow tulips or blueberries. But you still do have a choice between having a beautiful garden and no garden. This is what astrological remedies are here for, to help you see what your flawed tendencies are, to shine a light on the things you can work on, and to help you change that. So how does Reiki help to heal astrological issues? The solution is actually really simple. We imagine that there's so much we need to do, that solutions are so complicated, but in reality, it is so simple. All you need to do is to have a regular daily practice. The moment you practice in the morning as well as in the evening, you transcend most of the wrong tendencies that the planets force into you. So how does this shift? Let me tell you how. The sun represents the ego, energy, and oneness. So if you have problems related to the sun, it is your ego which is causing problems, either low self-esteem or overconfidence, depending on its position. The entire Reiki practice is centered around channeling the light and surrendering to it. As you practice over time, the deeper your surrender becomes, the more the ego gets bypassed. And the sun, which means the ego, is less hurtful and interfering in your life. The moon represents the mind and your emotions. The more you practice Reiki, the more it helps you learn to manage your emotions. In fact, when I learned Reiki, we were taught to practice only once a day. But I came across several clients who were completely calm and relaxed, even though their lives were extremely difficult. And when I asked them questions, I realized that they were practicing Reiki twice a day. And I have seen after that twice a day Reiki practice heals a lot of mental instability effortlessly and overnight. So twice a day Reiki clearly heals afflictions of the moon. Mercury is the intellect. It is our capacity to think clearly. This takes about 3 to 4 months of Reiki self-healing, which expands our clarity of thought and rational thinking. An afflicted Venus will create desires that are out of bounds and consequently either a whole lot of unfulfilled desires or excessive pursuit of things and pleasures, and obviously the related health and relationship consequences, which are quite unpleasant. The practice of surrender that we do in Reiki obviously leads your way out of this. The whole idea of the Reiki practice is to let go of desire. An afflicted Mars causes impulsive or aggressive behavior or power struggles, and this obviously heals through regular self-healing. When Jupiter is afflicted, it causes problems due to over-optimism. When Saturn is afflicted, it causes laziness, pessimism, and depression. Now, regular Reiki practice opens our eyes. It takes 2 to 3 months of once or twice a day healing for you to feel this shift. The challenge with an afflicted Saturn, however, needs a little bit beyond this. It still needs your personal will to be overcome. If you have trouble sustaining a regular Reiki practice, you do have an afflicted Saturn, which will heal by pushing yourself to be regular. Discipline is one of the most powerful remedies for an afflicted Saturn. The North Node, Rahu, causes mental illusions and also illusions in relationships. The South Node, Ketu, causes disillusion, deprivation, and detachment. Reiki helps with both of these, although in these 2 cases I have found that some additional practices might be needed, like some chanting. I'd like to point out that not all traditional astrological solutions work. There are thousands of instances of blocks being cleared through a personal remedy or a ritual done with a priest. But we also do see time and again expensive, time-consuming rituals being conducted by the most authentic people, and yet problems remain unresolved. Why the difference? There are two aspects here. One is without surrender and the willingness to change as a person and take more responsibility for our behavior, words, and actions. No long-term improvement in our lives is possible. The second aspect is that some difficulties are highly essential for us to go through in order to grow. In such cases, if we request for the courage and acceptance to go through the situation, then we benefit significantly more, and there is a great deal more peace of mind. If a planet is causing severe problems despite daily self-healing, and if you'd like to add planet-specific Reiki rituals to your practice, ensure that you have finished Level 2 first, which means a minimum of 3 months of regular practice, because without this, your intent is not yet purified and will be less powerful. Imagine the planet in front of you, draw the symbols, and respectively request to connect with the planet through the distant healing symbol, and then with the emotional healing symbol, request the planet to bring about the emotional maturity to overcome the tendencies associated with this planet. And finally, with the power symbol, request the energy to bring these changes into physical manifestation and into every single cell of your existence. Ideally, do this just after your daily practice so that your energies are clearest while you do this. That's all for today. Let me know how you fare with these ideas, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.